All right, so today we're going to be coaching a diamond Z jungle main. You told me you hit masters, yeah, or you hit D1 only?
D1, yeah.
D1. So this is OPGG. He's smurfing it as of late. Needs to get more games in for sure though. But we're gonna go ahead and go over this VOD. But I'm gonna start off with like the most important things. This jungle, which is going to be as what I coach with my other clients. You need to be aware of the information that's going on in the game, right? So info is winning on jungle. That's one thing. And the second thing that you're going to have to do is being decisive. These are the most important things when you're playing jungle is these two things. So getting the information that you need and then being decisive about what you want to do with that information. That's what encapsulates the jungle role and how you win games on jungle. So when you're going into this game, there's like a lot of things that could happen, right? What do you think is the most likely thing to happen in this sort of a game in terms of jungling?
Like as in the
Early
enemy
game.
jungler or
Yeah, the
like
early game. What's going to happen?
uh I imagine that like just in terms of my lanes, bot lane is like pretty obviously going to be
Pretty,
fighting a
yeah,
good amount.
volatile.
And then I guess top lane is also pretty easy to kill given that like no flash
Yeah, so no flash.
and then range versus melee, but here I'm thinking like if I path top and Graves also paths top, it's gonna be because Ari is definitely going to have, or I'm not sure, but I think Ari should have first move over Echo, right? And then I'm not sure if I beat Graves 1v1, so I think
Mhm.
better here is just to look to clear my camps and then impact bot first.
All right. So I want you to think about it like this, right? You did a really good job of establishing like all your options and all the options you have. So influencing top in no flash matchups. A lot of times this will not necessarily make your Quinn win the game for you, but it will accelerate the game. So if you kill the Yorick, the Quinn is going to be able to move from her lane faster and be able to make the game go quickly where you can pick up a lot of kills, right?
Yeah,
You talked about
yeah,
Graves beating Graves 1v1. You're not sure about that. I think it's a little complicated, but in general, like the Graves can probably invade you and screw with your jungle. So like he's gonna have the advantage in terms of whatever he wants to do this game, which is what we'll get into after this. And then in terms of Prio, your Echo can actually get Prio in this matchup, but it's gonna be like completely contingent on uh if you can set up the vision for him to be able to like clear the wave and stuff, right? So
yeah.
if you buy a control ward, if your Blitzcrank has a control ward or whatever, you're going to be able to like help him out. But on the first sequence on the map, he's probably not going to have prio into the Ari. And sequence
Uh,
means like your first clear, his first lane phase before he recalls and TPs back. And then of course bot lane is going to be volatile. So looking at this setup, right? Your Graves on the enemy team, if I'm Graves, right? Your options are going to be to try to invade, right? Or to path to the volatility, which is going to be pathing to
yeah,
bot lane. So if you're Zed here, what are your options to respond to that? I think that's his most appealing option, to go path to bot towards bot or invade you. So
I mean, in my opinion, I think we like heavily outskill. Like personally, I think Zed is the best, like one of the best scaling champs. So I think in this case, what I should do is just for now, I just also path towards bot, I think, and then I just look to mitigate anything that Graves can do, or if he misplays, then I can look to impact bot myself.
yeah. So what information do you need to make that play? Because remember, information is king. You need to know where Graves is starting, right?
Yeah,
So how do you think that you can check where he's starting? Just walking his jungle
ideally
level
it's
one?
just, um, I mean, other than like getting a ward on one of his camps, right?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's what you got to look at level one, right? The game starts level one. So, where do you think you could get a ward in to find out where he's starting?
It would just be like on Raptors, right?
Well, why would you go for Raptors? In my opinion, I think the ward is probably just on his blue buff. You can definitely walk through here and check it, right?
I see. Okay.
Because Yorick
Yeah,
has
that
no
makes
flash.
sense.
So if he walks up, you can go and try to kill him, especially if you have Blitz Kai'Sa.
Yeah, I
So
see. Yeah,
going for a play here, it's okay, but they can just clear it. and on blue buff, it's going to be a higher percentage chance that it actually sticks, and it's going to give you better information. So if Graves is starting his blue, I don't think Graves likes to start wolves or raptors that much, right? So I mean he can, but he doesn't really like it that much. So if he doesn't show on blue, then he's starting one of your camps or he's starting his blue. I mean his red rather, and it gives you nice information. But if you ward raptors, let's say he's doing red start, it would take you quite a bit of time to see him on show on the raptors.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I'd go for a ward on his blue. Again, the reason why I say this is important is because the game starts at level one and it's an info war, right? Like you're playing a game of information.
Yeah.
So you end up finding a pick here. That's good. Because you guys are like decently strong level one. Let me see what gets used here. And I agree with you that you outscale. So, all right, Thresh is just AFK, and you kill him without him flashing. All right. So your Blitzcrank has no flash and ignite now. So what that basically tells me is, and also it kind of sucks you didn't get an assist. Was there no way that you could have gotten an assist here? I guess it's kind of hard. Yeah. So it's kind of hindsighty to say you should have been in a better position on the invade, but it sucks you didn't get an assist. But with your Blitz not having Flash and Ignite, and this guy not having used anything, bot lane is like not really something that I would want to path to anymore. Because
It's,
because you can't get a kill anymore bot lane, and you'd only be covering the 2v2 and fighting the 3v3. And you guys don't win the 3v3 being two summoners down, do you?
nah.
So I would look to path the top lane and again cover my camps because at this point you all showed bot side. So if the Graves has a brain, he's going to ward your top side. And it's going to be really clear that you're pathing down bot lane, which is going to let Yorick play like super aggro as well. With that being said, you do out clear the Graves pretty hard as that. You clear super, super fast. Right? So, and also if anybody's watching that doesn't know how that jungle work is his passive doesn't have a cooldown versus camps. So the faster you get a camp to half HP, the faster you do it. So you always want to smite at the start whenever you're doing your camps. And bot lane is becoming super, super volatile. So uh we'll see what ends up happening, I guess. Every lane is trading heavy, pretty much, yeah. So I like how you looked at every one of the lanes before you decided to path to your Raptors. So you can make a decision on where you're pathing to. It's a really, really good job from you. And talk me through what you're thinking about the game in this point.
So I guess here, like looking at how both mid and bot is pushed in, I'm just thinking like, because like ganging here is pretty, it's not like guaranteed. So I just put 2 points in Q and look to full clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm thinking here is like, because after this clear, I will, at least I think so. I grief clear here, by the way, but I will like reset and then because nothing really to do, and I clear fast enough, so I just reset by 2 longswords,
Mm-hmm. So let me
and
ask
then
you a
here I can
question.
just
What would happen if Graves decided to invade you on blue here? Because he has prio in both bot and mid.
uh, assuming he invade me on blue, that's either he did top side into me or like one quadrant into me. So I think here I would just like I still think that ball lane. I'm not sure how the wave is, but okay, well he
Well, he shows
shows
top
top, but
here, yeah, but just imagine he invaded you here instead.
I mean I think I would just like just ward there and then see if he's starting it or not. But I think I can take like ground with my passive faster, so I'll just like chill and see if my laners move. If not, I'll
Okay.
just
Yeah.
give.
And the reason why I say this is because whenever you're playing as a jungle, it's super important that you recognize the potential of being invaded on your second quadrant. Right? You're lacking prio in this lane, you're lacking prio in this lane. So when you're pathing down here, it's always the potential that this guy can invade you.
Yeah,
And if it's a smart jungle, he probably will invade you.
okay.
And the reason why is because your bot laners can't move up. And as a jungle, you talked about scaling, right? So even though it doesn't
Yeah,
hurt you that much, it stops you from power leveling as fast as you normally would if you just full clear, right? It delays your clear and
yeah,
desyncs your camps. So whenever you're doing this, it's important that you recognize this is also another thing. Now you can opt into this. You can be like completely fine with it because uh, you think it'll screw him over more than it'll screw you over, right? But in my mind, I think it screws you over a little bit more than it screws him over if he invades. So this
Yeah.
is another reason why maybe it's worth considering pathing to your top side or staying on your prio side of the map and invading his top side, even though your bot
Yeah.
lane is not going well. Because I want you to think about it. Are you in a position to help out your bot lane at this point? Probably not, right?
Nah, yeah.
So you can't help them yet. Even though they fucked up their lane, that's their like issue to solve for now. And then as soon as you get to the point where you can help them, that's when you come bot lane. What I'm trying to get at is it's not your tempo to impact bot lane right now.
Mhm.
Even though this Grave Show's top lane, I mean, what are you realistically gonna do? You're gonna have to rely on if Blitzcrank hits a hook, or you're gonna have to push out the wave for them at this point, right? So
Yeah.
that's not really great for you in terms of like a win condition. And you do agree if you're clear, but again, those mistakes aren't really that important. I guess Blitzcrank randomly hooks the Thresh in a tower, so that works out. And again, everything works out. In the end, ends up being a good play. Looks like Blitzcrank is playing up, goes for a hook, and at this point, you have to come help him out and you have to push in after you do Scuttle, probably, or before you do Scuttle. Honestly, they could just leave the wave like that as well, and it'd probably be fine. You might not need to help him out either. Oh, if you're bot lane here, I think you could have killed her. That's something to look at. I think this is something to look at for sure. Right, so they probably have a ward in Tribrush. Yeah, because of the way they were playing
Yeah.
up. And this is something that you should pay attention to as a jungler, like 100%. Look at the minimap and you can tell where the Thresh probably warded. So let's see. From when they get the push in, look at where Thresh moves. You see how Thresh moves to Tribrush?
Yeah.
So Thresh moves to Tribrush right there on the minimap if nobody saw it. He moved here and he stopped for a second. So that gives you really valuable information. That if you want to impact bot lane, you're going to be showing on vision or you have to loop all the way around.
Yeah.
So this you can always use vision as like against the enemy, as weird as that sounds. So when you show in that tri brush and you show that you're going to the scuttle, the Zeri's gonna see that and she's gonna say, okay, well Zed is moving to scuttle right now, so I have the ability to like do whatever I want without Zed being here, right? Which
Yeah.
means let's go fast forward to this play where you walk up here and then you're on vision right now. You acknowledge that, right? And then you recall, you probably show on the ward. Let's say you walk the way that you walk, but instead of fully walking that way, let me just wait. Let's say you hug this wall and you come down because the ward won't spot you.
Yeah.
And you just sit there for a second and you wait and see what Zeri does. You hover for this wave, and then if they push this wave in, no problems. You just go to scuttle and you finish the scuttle, and then you reset for your clear or you look mid lane. And then if she does do something, you're going to be there to collect the kill.
Mhm. Makes sense.
So this is something that you can look for, and it's not something that's super hindsight. It's something that you could be paying attention to in the moment. And I hope you understand. This is why, like, info is the most important thing in a game, because you know that ward's there, you can easily get that kill, and if you get that kill, you snowball the game so much harder, don't you? You get like either
Yeah.
a Dirk reset or you get pickaxe and longsword reset, and it's so huge. And also, this play finishes much faster too, so that you're able to reset and get on the other side of the map really, really quickly.
Yeah.
So go ahead and drop a yellow trinket here. And also, it's not always the best to drop the ward inside of the bush. Sometimes it's better to drop the ward up here. And the reason why is because it spots them going up river and it spots them going through here. It's kind of
Yeah.
a really
Okay.
tiny thing, but it's still worth looking at. What so again, this sequence is over. The first sequence of the game is over. What are you looking at now with this new game state?
Well, now here I know that Graves started bot side, but here I should be up on tempo, right? So I'm thinking like here I have like a small window to impact top, but I think it's more consistent. I just path down and look to impact that lane, given that they use sums.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I would agree with you. I think in the case that the jungler, let's say, start at top here, right? Just hypothetical. I think it's definitely
Yeah.
worth it sometimes to sit in the top bush and wait to see if Graves comes and ganks, and look for a counter gank on that, right? Obviously, since he started bot lane, you're just going to be matching clears with him, and this would be a timer where if your mid and top were stronger, you could invade them
Yeah.
on his top camps. But it's worth looking at what's better. And I think you made the correct decision. You know, bot lane is down sums on Zeri. She probably flashed, but we don't know, unfortunately. Uh, the wave is pushing in and dragon is spawning. So I think that's a lot of stuff on this side of the map that's good for you. Also, Kaisa Zed do dragon super, super fast, and you have the vision to make this play happen. Really good hook from him there. I think at this moment, you should recognize that you're not going to get the kill and just back out. And so it becomes like, what do you do next? Well, you're just going to go back to your full clear, yeah? Hit level 6.
Yeah.
And I don't like you hitting Grump here instead of Wolves. Because it desyncs your camps a little bit.
Uh, I thought it was just like closer, so like save time.
You save
But yeah,
time, but you're desync your camp, so now that it's gonna go Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, Gromp was the original spawn. Now it's gonna go Krugs, Raptors, Gromp, Wolves.
yeah, I guess, yeah, I see.
Which it forces you into keeping like think about what keeps your options open more, right? Like if you have Gromp spawning first, you're gonna have to go uh what do you call it? Go to make a bot play and then look top. Look to go to your Wolves. And then never ping your teammate missing, by the way. This is
Yeah, my bad, my bad.
very sinful right there. And if you decide to do what you're doing here, again, the reason why he smites early, guys, if anybody's watching, is because he wants to get to half HP to finish it faster. Uh, but if you're gonna do this, then it's completely fine just dropping your wolves and playing for their next like respawn timer. You know what I mean? Like on next clear.
Yeah. Mhm.
Worth taking. I think it's worth taking dragon. So early dragons are definitely really powerful. And then this is where the
I
bot
think like
shuts off.
the
When was this
the
game?
reason it was just the most recent one.
Okay. You can go ahead, by the way. I'm not. Uh,
Yeah, typically I won't like ping people. I think like I don't know why I thought like that guy like pinged to come dragon, then like he stayed for the wave or something, and
mhm.
then because normally I won't take dragon unless my like
Team is
it's I
helping
have
you.
nothing else to do. Yeah,
I definitely agree that
but yeah,
Kai'Sa should have been on the dragon there for sure.
do you think like leaving the camp there to go dragon once I see grave is like fine?
Yeah, yeah. As long as your Kai'Sa's helping you, and it's not like the most important thing is that when you're making so when the map is split and somebody has one turn on one side of the map and another turn on the other side, execution is really important. Uh, if you mess up your execution, you're gonna give them more value out of being on that side and give you less value. The best way I could put it is like imagine if you're looking to dive somebody, but you don't have your ulti up. You probably can't dive them as easy as they can make a play on the other side of the map. So it would be bad for you to do that, right? So whenever you're
Yeah,
trying to be strong on one side, you need to make sure you're strong. So when your Kaisa disconnects from you and takes poke damage from the Zeri, it makes it harder because you're delaying this dragon by like 10, 15 seconds, right? She's taking damage and you guys aren't doing damage to them. So that's
yeah,
why it's super important that you're playing together when you're playing cross map. And here, the Ari phase checks here. I don't think it's ever worth dropping your ulti for her. So, that trade is fine what you did here. And then here, you're just going to do another full clear. Look for your first item completion and impact the map, right?
yeah.
Here, because you're planning to full clear, I'm not opposed to you just dropping your R to help Quinn top. So
Okay.
let's say you go top lane, you just drop like 500 damage on the Yorick. You're doing a full clear anyways, right? Unless you're planning to fight these scuttles, uh, the whatever these are called, I forgot the grubs, right?
Grubs.
Yeah, unless you're planning to
Yeah.
fight these grubs, you're not going to be needing your R. So
Mhm.
I'm fine with you just chunking out this Yorick, especially because this Graves won't be top lane for a while.
Yeah.
It's just an option for you to look at. So you could take this red buff and then decide to go impact. I think it's completely fine to do that, right? Maybe an option that you can
Yeah.
look for. Because what's your R cooldown right now? It's like 80, maybe 100 seconds. Let me look. It's 115, yeah. Yeah, and I think you could have been here a little bit sooner. Like, you could have probably seen the slow push and you could have been there before the Krugs. Well, it's still going to be a good play. I think you're 100% going to kill this guy, yeah?
Yeah.
Good job. Yep, good job. And the kill going on you is super important because it's gonna get you your first item completion fast. And yeah, I think going for grubs here is a little bit greedy, but you do have Blitzcrank on this side of the map, so playing for it a little bit slow is nice. Oh, Ari, what a hook! Dude, your Blitzcrank is like fucking Smurf in this game for what?
Yeah.
I would just hit the grubs here. Yep. So at this point, you don't have a lot of information. Maybe you saw this Graves go over the sword. So you saw this Graves go over the sword, so you're playing for 3 grubs here. Because you took a full quadrant on your side. And I think that's okay. Because you got 2 kills and you got 3 grubs for 1 quadrant of your jungle. I think that's completely worth it, yeah?
Yeah.
Kinda sucks because he's gonna get a temporary XP lead, but I think it's fine. And then you just gotta be aware the only place Graves could be is here, right? So I think your Kaisa does a good job of looking in your jungle. That's really good of her. And you're on a timer here because you saw you didn't take your wolves, so take the Gromp and leave. That's really, really good. Take this. And then I would reset, take your first item here if you have the gold for it. I'm pretty sure you have the gold for it, don't you? Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I was like a bit greedy here because my camps respawning and then didn't want to like leave them up there.
I understand.
And then here I just wanted to stop him from taking tower.
I think this is fine. The way that you play it, it's fine. But you could have been here with the completed item if you had reset immediately.
Yeah, makes sense.
And maybe that's something worth looking at. Instead of taking this Gromp, you could have just reset. Or the Scuttle.
Yeah.
Or you could have already been on your camps instead of stealing his.
Because I thought like that guy's definitely in my bot jungle, so if I don't do anything, like I'm just gonna
Yeah,
lose
but
out.
you saw wolves were up and you saw this was warded, so he reset at that point. And then you're like, okay, well, where is he now? He's in my top jungle, so I gotta go check it. And you're sitting on 2.5k gold. It's not that it's like bad, because you end up getting the camp and you end up keeping him off tower, but you could be a lot stronger right now.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then this random ass
I
play.
grief here.
I mean, it's alright. You went for a play and it didn't work out. It's fine. It happens. What I don't like is that you're looking for this play when it doesn't get you anything.
I try to R flash, but I'm out of range.
Yeah, I know. You try to WR him, but like your W hits the wall.
And like I was gonna like
You're
W
gonna
and then R flash and then
WR
get out.
flash. Yeah, okay. That makes sense as well. But regardless, I don't think you get anything here. You don't get a completed item, you don't get an objective on the map, so it's just a bad play. It's made on bad tempo.
But
right?
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think you play a solid game. It's just you had a couple of lanes that were just winning, so it's probably a little bit hard to tell what you could have done better, like, because we're not going to see the results immediately. And whenever I'm giving advice, it's never about like you're going to win this game if you did this differently. It's more so about the fact that you're going to win more games in the future if you follow these rules.
Yeah.
End up getting the dragon. That's really good. And now you have Voltaic, I'm assuming. Or Eclipse is fine too. So let me ask you a question so that people, because you play a lot of Zed. So what times do you decide to go Voltaic first item and what times do you decide to go Eclipse first item?
I mean I think Eclipse is like if I'm playing Conqueror into like these champs like Graves and then they also have Yorick here, I'll usually go Eclipse first. Like I rarely go Voltaic first unless they're like super squishy.
Okay. So, and why is that? Just so the people watching. I play a lot of Zed, so I'm asking so I can get your opinion about stuff.
I mean, I guess here like the Eclipse shield is just like a lot better for and like the HP like
The way you're playing
percentage
fights,
is yeah, it's just better for dueling. And then like cuz I'm playing like a very I would say selfish like style where I don't really need Voltaic early. Like there's no point of getting the extra like one shot. And then other than that I see like Fiddle Sahar. That guy like is usually going Eclipse every game like first item. So
Yeah, I think Eclipse first is definitely like the safer play in terms of scaling, because you kind of feel a lot of pressure when you build Voltaic to make plays happen, yeah?
Yeah.
And things can go pretty badly. I like how active you're being on the map here, but I would recommend that you get in the habit of, at this point, clearing your camps in order is not as important as it was earlier on. So if you see a play that you think you can impact stuff, or you have something that you can use to fight, like I would recommend that you just go there and then clear your camps afterwards. Right?
Okay.
Especially because like camps are gonna be spawning like everywhere on the map at this point, right? Like if you decided to walk top lane and try to get a kill on this York, it would have been completely fine. If you decided to come bot lane and just do your camps, it's completely fine. Because you're ahead, you have the option of playing strong whatever side you're on.
Yeah.
So you do all your camps here. Again, if you're trying to hit level 11, it's good. But like otherwise, you could be in a position to get a better angle on Zeri. Because this guy sees you walk here and just like dies to nothing. I don't know. Kind of a mistake from him, right? But
Yeah.
it's chill. Ends up working out for you. And then obviously what you're thinking of next is the next dragon timer, yeah? And the next dragon is going to be spawning, and it looks like it actually goes over their way. So let's see how that ends up happening. It looks like Yorick is starting to beat Quinn in the side. What the Quinn build? She not go. Well, she went profane and she's still losing. Huh. That's hard. So now you have a new thing to deal with, which is the Yorick split push, right?
Yeah.
And the ways that you deal with the split push as a jungler is you overload one side of the map. So you either make a play on the splitter before the objective is up, or you make a play on the objective when the splitter is doing something, and you just make it very, very fast. This is about the like being decisive that I talked about before. So at a moment like this, the dragon isn't up yet, so maybe you just want to make a play on the Yorick, but you see your Quinn is doing this, so this is really good. So you're playing for the fight, yeah?
I griefed this fight like really poorly.
That's
It's
okay.
it's just fucked.
Let's use your vision so we don't hindsight anything.
Like I knew this guy was there too, but I was like,
Okay.
my movement was just like too shit.
So here's where it comes back to like my movement is bad. Well, play with intention, right? So your Quinn is pushing this wave in, and she's gonna immediately shift to mid afterwards. The dragon isn't up yet, so how are you gonna enter a dragon? You're gonna enter a dragon through mid lane. True.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I shouldn't be like, I should be stalling for that guy.
So just wait, push through mid, and then check this bush with your Blitzcrank. Because Kaisa can always move with her R. It's not like she can never get to the fight. If you're playing with a different AD carry like Jinx, maybe you need to push through here as a team. But you have a Kaisa.
Yeah,
Right, so you see the Ari ulti here, and at this point, Ari uses ulti. This guy is pushing the side wave. Just go mid, take the mid tower right now. And then you can take Rift Herald if you find the contest on Dragon is hard, and you can kill Yorick. When you
yeah,
centralize the play, you have more options. You go back to mid, push this wave in. You can decide if you want to go kill this guy top and get Rift, which is worth it, or you can decide if you want to fight the Dragon.
okay.
So just as an example of a play that could occur, push the mid lane, the Yorick TPs to Dragon, and you're like, okay, maybe it's a little bit hard to contest. Take the Rift Herald, and you take 2 towers top lane.
Yeah, got it.
And you take all of Graves' top camps, which would be spawning. So yeah, you grieve the fight, you know he's there, but at the end of the day, was this even the right play to go for? Probably not. You press R here, and you just get one shot by the Thresh R, because that ability is like undodgeable, unfortunately. I don't even think the Thresh did that intentionally. You think he did?
Nah.
Like he walked so that you would spawn. Oh wait, you flashed into his R. Oh my god, that's so sad. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's how I died. I was like, yeah, I thought I would be out there, but yeah, I shouldn't like be there.
Oh man. Alright, well it's okay. It's not the end of the world, but it's important to recognize what you could have done better. And then you see the Yorick TP's down here. So you see Yorick TP'd, so you don't have to deal with the split push threat for how long now? Right? Like everything is yours on the map for the duration of his TP. So play with your Blitzcrank now and decide what objective you want to fight. Right? Like ping mid tower, go for mid tower, go for Rift Herald, which is what you ping, I think. It's a good job. Good ping. Right? And then you look for killing Ari potentially. But here's where you like can invade the camps, can take everything, and then go for Rift Herald afterwards. Going on Ari here is good. You force out her ulti. That's really, really good. And then you want to play hard with your team here. So, good job. This is a good fight right here. This is a really good fight. Good job.
I agree with again here. I don't know what's going on.
That's alright.
Am I out? Nah, I'm just...
No, I think this is a good fight. Maybe there's a little bit of an execution mistake that we made here on the rest of your team. Yeah, your Echo ulted nothing. And your Quinn was still bot lane. Yeah, I think your Quinn makes a really big mistake here. If she walks to this fight, she's there, right? So, that's alright. I think it was a good fight to look on, right? But, like, as soon as you notice that Quinn is not there, maybe you just play for out when the Blitzcrank hooks in. You miss your Q there, which is kind of shitty, but that's alright. Again, you haven't, like, lost the game yet. But I think what it goes back to, I should probably stop watching this. Let's watch Otacon fight and that's it. But I think probably the most important thing from watching you play is going to be, like, you just play on your turns and have a clear idea of how you're going to win the game in your head, right? Like, your team is going to overperform and then they're going to underperform. Like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't even know. But play to what you know. So, the best of the best players... Wow, you killed the Zeri there. I can't believe he didn't dodge those Qs. It's a big noob, I guess. But, the people on your team are always going to be doing random shit. It's your job to make the best of it.
Yeah.
This is kind of a crazy fight. Just try to finish the Otacon here, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do, right? You did you did an intelligent thing there. I mean, it sucks that your team put you in that position, but it's probably the most you could have done. Good job. Good job. That was well played. So I think you'll get to a higher rank if you keep playing. But you can definitely take control of games more by being more, by playing on better timers.
Yeah.
And you have good camera control and everything. So I really do think you're going to climb. You just got to be a little bit more consistent with how you're structuring your fights and games. Zed has a lot of options on playing fights. It's just important that you take good fights. So even if, like, the result is poor because you missed Q or somebody had flash surprisingly, you're still able to get something out of it off the chunk.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This is a smart play. Yep, I think that's good. Good job. So even though you don't get anything off that, the Zeri's not going to have ulti for the dragon fight. So I think if you just want to get out as soon as she drops ulti, that's completely fine. But flashing in is okay as well. Right? So as soon as Zeri uses her ulti, she's chunked. She's not going to have ulti for dragon. You could just disengage at this point. Now, if you have an item that you're going to purchase, that's whatever, but you don't. So I don't mind flashing in to kill her, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay. Faker in his prime. Well played. Maybe you should, no, that was all well played. I think you could have dodged that Q, but it's really hindsight.
Yeah.
The Q return, not the original one.
Yeah,
You could have went up instead of going down.
I turned back. Oh no, yeah, you're right.
Because if he dodges into your shadow, it makes it easy for you to kill her. Because, like, he's gonna move to make the Q hit you, no matter what. So if you dodge down, if you dodge up rather, he's gonna walk into your shadow here. And then it'll set up your Qs really easily, but instead of, like, your double E, he ended up getting hit by a double E anyways. You're lucky, man. You're a lucky dog. But, do you have any questions? Because the game, I think the game is gonna play out, like, pretty solidly winning from now on, yeah?
Yeah. So, in like the beginning, you said having like top there. Was that mainly due to the fact that Blitzcrank burned both sums?
Well, it's due to the fact that, like I discussed, you have no prio mid until Echo gets further ahead. You have no prio bot lane because they can't fight being down double sums, right? So the reason why I don't want you to path the bot lane, like, in an ideal world where the Graves is playing properly, is because he can invade your bot camps here and it's going to delay your scaling.
Yeah.
And your job is always going to be able to kill the Yorick with your Quinn, or being able to kill the Zeri, or at least chunk her, or being able to finish Graves when he gets CC'd as that.
Yeah.
And so your gold income heavily affects your ability to do all of that. You need the resource. So the reason why I say that is because, okay, so let's say the Graves puts you behind because he invades you. Whether the invade works or not, it's whatever. As soon as you see the heavy trades bot lane, you know that he can has the potential to invade, and you don't have the proper response to deal with it in a way that won't put you behind. So you don't have the wards to be able to identify his invade early. You don't have the double smite charge potentially if you could hold your smite. Like, you don't have any of that stuff to deal with the actual invade, right?
Yeah.
So if you had the stuff to deal with the invade, I'm fine with it. But you have no prio mid, you have no prio bot lane in general, right? And in this specific case, uh, it's not good to path the lanes with no prio, and I'm sure you know that because the fact that you can get invaded. If you can path the top lane, or if you could even vertical here for one sequence, right? You can get much further ahead by killing that Yorick. And then again, I think that play is the biggest one. And then right here, paying attention to war timers. This is so huge, especially for bot lane. When somebody moves towards a certain area, you can assume it's warded. And it's something that I pay attention to, and I use it to win a lot of my challenger games. Because, like, you just watch them bot lane on the minimap and you see where he goes. He walks up here, just look on minimap, he walks here, he's going to be warding Tribrush. So now you know exactly what's warded, and you don't need to use a sweeper to identify that.
Yeah.
Or Yorick. Yorick
Yeah.
spent the entirety of this laning phase here. So where do you think his ward is? Probably here, here, nowhere else, right?
Yeah.
And then look mid. Where has Ari been the majority of this lane phase? She never pushed up, so she's not going to have any wards past here. She might have a ward here, she might have a ward here, but nothing else, yeah?
Yeah.
So this is all stuff that you could be tracking just by looking at the minimap or using camera control. And
Mhm.
then when you're
Yeah.
kiting this Gromp, you could be like, okay, I don't want to kite this down because I'm showing them where I am. If I just take this Gromp kite this way, I could loop around and gank her. But in this sense, you could be like, all right, so Zeri might try some stupid shit to try to hold the wave. Let me just show here, pretend I'm walking up the scuttle, and then bait her in and come from behind her.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. The
So
word, yeah, I actually haven't been like actively keeping track of this.
it's just one other thing to actively keep track of. I think that you think of things very logical to begin with. So, like right here, let's go see. We'll go see if it's warded, right? Yeah. So this is warded. This was warded, I think. Let me see if Yorick warded here. Where did Yorick ward? Yorick should ward this bush, but he didn't, so he got killed. Nice, man. So he didn't ward anything, and Ari, I guess, got a ward here? Or was this on the original invade? Yeah, Ari got this ward here. And your echo should give you that info, but he didn't, so that kind of sucks. But you could have assumed that your top side was warded after what you guys did level 1. So
Mhm.
that's another thing to actively keep track of. I think the game becomes very, very different if you pick up this kill on Zeri, though, because you're able to influence the map a little bit more. And I think your options are always going to be like, so your camps are spawning in this order, right? Down, up, like top to bot, right?
Yeah.
I think you can run top lane and get a kill on Yorick whenever, if Quinn has a proper wave setup. So that's another
Mhm.
reason why I think that you should be starting bot side and pathing up, because like the Quinn can just let the wave come back into her, and it's always going to be a gank timer on the Yorick.
Okay. So how do you like, because like in this case, are you assuming that my mid laner will also have prio?
Your main laner gets prio after he gets first reset. That's just how the matchup goes. It's just a wave clear matchup.
Because like, yeah, prior to that, he like won't have prio, right?
Yeah,
Like the first reset.
but your Quinn
So then
will.
how do you play that out? Because like in this case, I was thinking like even though Quinn has prio, I lose to Graves, and then Ari will have prio over Echo. So it will be like I thought we would lose the fight if we see who's rotating.
Do you really think you lose if you have Yorick pinned in lane like this and Echo is still like somewhat even? Like there's levels to priority. Like if Yorick wants to come to this play, he has to walk all the way around here. Yeah? If Echo wants to come to the
Uh,
play in the top side of the jungle, what does he have to do? Just walk through here. All right, worst case, walk through
Yeah.
here. So he doesn't have the terrain blocking him. And
Okay.
you can always play it slow. And let's say hypothetically the Graves does invade your top side, right? Is he going to be able to retake your camps on your top side ever with the Quinn pile? No. So what he did is just like pointless. Like he's never going to be able to invade your top side because you're always going to have prio on your top side. Bot side is going to be
I,
always a question of if they win the 2v2.
I see.
If this
Yeah, that
Graves
makes
is smart,
sense.
he just literally goes right after red to your bot side, by the way. He doesn't even have to. He could just go right now after he does the Raptors.
So, like, what should I be doing? Like, if I know this guy, like, I already started red, and then I know this guy's probably invading me.
Well, that's where you make the adaptation. You say you can either vertical it, like hedge your bets and vertical it, or you can take like a different pathing so that you don't run into him or you can catch him off guard. So you could like ping
Okay.
your Echo to put a ward down for you right here, or you can do like Gromp instead of starting Wolves and then go to your blue afterwards, or you could do Wolves and then go to Gromp or ward over the wall or something, right? Like what we talked about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, got it.
Because your Echo still won the trades. Your Echo can move to any side now because your Echo won. So
Mhm.
he has Hell Blades build. He just ease on this guy and yeah, fair matchup by the way. Want to watch the level one? I'll show you the level one in this matchup. It's kind of silly. Watch. Actually, he didn't even go E level one. Oh, he hit level 2 because he fucking got the kill. Oh my god. That's funny. He got the kill XP, so he hit level 2 on first wave. And the Ari stuffed into the Q. And then took a fat damage to the jaw. He didn't even go for another auto, I don't know why. Pussy. So yeah, like at this point, your counter play is getting vision, getting info, right? And then making the proper decision based off of it. I think
Yeah.
after talking to you, I think you got information in this game and you made a decision. But I think the information that you're looking at might be a little bit different than how I view the game, and it's just a different perspective to look at, right? Like you're looking, I want to influence bot side because it's volatile, and I'm looking at it like just accelerate yourself, probably. Just go top side. You could always get a kill top side,
Okay.
and you
Yeah,
have no
that
risk of
makes
being invaded.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of the invading like at all. But yeah, that now that you said like makes sense.
Like it's a Tarzan play. This is why Tarzan was rank 1 in season 6. You didn't play back then, did you?
Nah, I started as 10.
Yeah, this is why Tarzan was rank 1 in season 6. Every game he would lock in Graves and he would go invade the enemy jungle at level 1.
Yeah.
And he'd ruin the game. But yeah, that being said, like again, you got the information this board is here. You could even loop around them here. At this
Yeah, like
point,
I actually thought like later on I thought like when Zeri was alone, I thought like my blue screen was trolling because like I didn't like wait for me, but like yeah, that ward is there. Like it's probably like I'm trolling.
I don't think you're trolling because look at the vision. You could have just done. You could have like done this and then went around
Yeah.
because you know where the ward is, right? It reminds
Well,
me. One time I was playing 80k. I'll show you the game. I'll show you the game because it's in one of my videos. Yeah, it's right here. So I was just recalling here. You see, I'm the Ezreal.
yeah,
I'm recalling. I'm playing with Corgi J. Oh my god, Corgi J. But I'm just recalling here, and then I notice that a ward dies. Do you see that ward die right there?
yeah.
So their ward just died on me, and they saw I was recalling. So the last information they had about me is that I was recalling. So I decided to cancel my recall and I sit in spot brush because they think I based. And the reason I do this is because it sets up a play with Poppy clearing this ward, and potentially if Seraphine tries to clear this wave, we could loop on her and kill her.
Mm,
And this is what I call a negative tempo play. Because what am I losing from doing this? It means that I have to stay on the map a little bit longer, but am I really objecting to that because I have TP? Not really, right?
no, yeah.
I'm fine with overstaying on the map, and I'm still high HP and everything. So I decide to stay, and because I stay, I end up getting a kill on Seraphine here.
I see.
So you can the game is about information and using the information the best way that you can to win. And the more you play with good players, the more you'll understand that giving information to the enemy team is bad if it can lead to them getting counterplay, and getting information from the enemy team is super valuable if you know how to use
Yeah.
it. That's why wards are
Mm.
OP if you're smart, but wards are useless if you're not going to take advantage of the info that you get. For example, that ward from Thresh could have hurt them more than helped them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like your builds. I like what you're doing. Zed is in a decently strong spot right now, especially for jungle. So I think you'll climb on him. And you're doing different rune pages. What I would just recommend you to do is like, I don't think you're going like different items every single game. You're just like having two distinct styles of what you're doing. And in general, when you're getting better at the game, that's what I would focus on. Whenever you're playing a champion, don't like try to change your runes every game. Just have styles of the champion that you think will work the best. And yeah, I would just play more games. You're sitting at 60 games. I think you should get more games in. Uh,
Yeah.
but do you have any questions? Anything that you think would help you a little bit more or no?
No, I think what I got from today was good.
Yeah.
But
Mm. Is,
yeah,
is there
thank you for
anything
your
else?
time and help.
Yeah, no
No,
problem. No
that
problem.
was
Just if we're gonna have a second session, I don't mind having a second session. I'm always open to it. The things I would focus on is I want you to be able to tell me your game plan at the start of the game, and talk about where you're pathing, why you're pathing a certain direction, and what your win condition in quotations is. Right, like where do you want to be at after your first clear? Where do you want to be at after your second clear? And I call it inversion thinking. And you know inversion, right? Like thinking backwards.
yeah.
So like there's A, your starting point of the game at 0 minutes, and there's B, and that's where you want to be for a win condition. Instead of thinking about how to get from A to B, you think about how B occurs from A. Right? How do I get to having my first item early? How do I get to having kill windows on people? And you think about what it takes. Well, if I want to kill window on them, they need to be stepping up a little bit too far. How do I make them step up too far? You let the wave come in, you force them to check an objective. Like you think backwards from where you want to be from where you're at right now. I think that's always super helpful when you play jungle.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't have to give me a VOD where all your lanes win next time, man. What the hell?
I don't know, like recently it's
I'm
like that
joking.
was like the only VOD. I think I played like 2 games after. And then
Yeah.
that Diana one, like all my champs got banned. Zed, Lee Sin, Kane, like every single one. So
Dude, it's funny. I actually played Diana too. I played Diana mid. She's so much better mid IMO, but whatever. Nah, she's kind of dog shit champ. I don't lie. She has no more
but yeah,
damage in her
I'll
kit anymore. It's whatever.
mm, but yeah, I'll get a better VOD next time.
No, it was a good VOD. I like having you. Like I said, if we're gonna do a second VOD, come with like a solution to the game. I tried doing this game, but it didn't work, and I want to know why. That's what is like the best
Yeah,
thing that you could get with a VOD review is if somebody comes to you with that.
okay.
So I tried to accelerate the game by going top lane in this game. It didn't work out. Can you explain why? And then I can give you the specifics. But
Yeah,
this is a great starting point, I think. And I do think you're going to climb. You could easily hit masters or even grandmasters
okay. That sounds good.
because you know how Zed
Like,
works.
yeah, like you can see like the coachings, like the videos I started watching, like started after that like 14-2 game. Like I was like just
Which one?
14-12, like the loss at the bottom of your screen.
Oh, here.
Yeah, and then like before that it was just like I think my CS numbers improved like a lot after that also.
Yeah. So this is also one other thing that you should look at, right? When you're looking at numbers and KDAs and stuff, I want you to think about it like going to the gym and lifting weights. So it depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to get better at league, it would be equal to getting healthier in the gym, right? If you're trying to have good numbers or like have a nice win rate or have high KDA, it's equivalent of looking good aesthetically. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that. But I think in order to climb, you want to be a better player, right? So, and that's what you're
Yeah.
after. So when you go to the gym, looking at the weight that you're putting up is important. Like I'm making progress, but it's never the key indicator of if you're getting healthier or not. The
Mhm.
key indicator is how you feel, how your health is, how like active or energetic you are. Like it's always a feeling that tells you if you're more healthier than anything, right? There are metrics that can track if you're doing better, but those metrics don't necessarily correlate with necessarily being healthier. So you might have better KDAs or might have good CS numbers, but the truth of the game is beyond just like stats. So it's more important about how you feel about every game that you play out. If you feel like you're
Yeah.
able to influence the game more, that means that you're doing better.
Hmm.
So, and I do think you have a lot of influence over the game, at least the way that you're pathing. I just want you to be more active. Take what's yours,
Yeah.
bro. You know?
Hmm. Yeah, I got it.
All right. I hope that was helpful. You could always DM me with questions if you have any questions, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to coach you. But yeah, it was fun. I hope you got much out of the coaching session.
Yeah. But okay. Yeah. Thanks again for your
Yeah.
help.
Do you have any questions? Sorry, I might have been a bit overwhelming, but
No, no, no. It was good. No, I think that was, yeah, I think it was good. I'll try to implement what you brought up.
and I'm just gonna end the recording.